Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time again. Well, I say puzzle time again. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a puzzle that I solved earlier today. Well, today for you guys, it was actually, I think, yesterday for me. It's just, I really wasn't particularly happy with my solve. It was over an hour long for a supposedly 1-star difficulty rated puzzle. And then when I thought about it at the end, and I have been thinking about it since then, there is some very clear missteps in my solve that I really wanted to revisit it and see if I can do a little bit of a better job. Now, word of warning, when I click the next screen, this will be the solve puzzle. I'm actually tempted to just restart it now before I actually flick the screen. Yeah, I'll do that. And let's take a look at the puzzle and how I think I can solve it a lot better. So, I Just Like Colors by DarthSillious72. And if you remember, normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a chess, king, or knight's move must contain different digits. Orthogonally adjacent cells cannot be consecutive. And cells separated by a black dot are in a 1:2 ratio with negative constraints. So I'm just going to restart the clock because, there is the longer video that has this. And I just want to jump straight into some deductions that I missed at the very beginning. First off, is when you think about black crop key dot digits 1, 2, 4, and 8, as well as 3 and 6, because of the fact that the 1 and 2 are consecutive, and we know they're not allowed in these rules, so there's never a 1 on a black crop key dot. In fact, there are only 5 different colors that we need to worry about: 2, 4, 8, and 3 and 6. So let's see what that looks like. This cell here, which we've established previously because of chess king's move, these two have to be different. We know it's got to be 2, 4, 8. That's got to be 4. That's got to be 2, 8. That's got to be 2, 8. I also know, and I was actually thinking about box 5, but I definitely know this here for box 3, that every pair, and I know it for a lot of boxes actually. So this box has a 3, 6, and a 4 with a 2, 8. Let me just explain what I mean by that. Essentially, the only valid pairs are a 2, 4 or a 4, 8 and a 3, 6. So whenever we have two sets of black crop key dots, I know one of them has a 4 joint with a 2 or 8 plus a 3, 6. So this is quite important for our solve. When you look at box 3 now, we know that one of them is going to be a 3, 6 pair. Let's just, for the sake of argument, no, I don't want to do this. Yeah, I don't want to do this. I definitely know that this is 2, 4, but let me walk you through why. So if this is 3, 6 and this is 4, 8, I'm just picking at random. It could be 2, 4. I've used the 3, 6. I've used the 4. I'm left with a 2 or 8 that can only be in here, and therefore this can only be a 4. So right away you can see, compared to my previous solve, I have immediately been able to place 2 digits and 3 correct pencil marks. Obviously these are not necessarily correct, so I'm just going to remove them. I don't know what they are. With the 4 placed, I know that this has to be 3, 6. Because I can't do 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, or I can't do 4, 8. 3, 6 in here because of chess. So essentially that can't be 3, 6, can't be 4. This is definitely 2, 8. This is definitely a 4. Again, that would have to be 3, 6. Again, this would have to be 2, 8. And I'm sorry, I know I'm moving a little bit quicker now, but hopefully that all made sense. Let me just rewind. So it's a black crop key dot. It's not 4. It's not 3, 6. It can only be 2, 8. If this is 2 or 8, this has to be 4. The fact that I placed a 4 means that this cannot be 2, 4 or 4, 8. It has to be 3, 6. And once again, this is another 2, 8. And once again, that's another 4. And you can see just how much easier this becomes. A 4 in here means this is a 3, 6 pair, which also means that this is 4 with a 2, 8. This 4 can't be here. That's a 4. That's a 2, 8. Again, 4 is not here, so this is a 3, 6 pair. This is a 2, 4, 8 in some order. I don't think the 4s here can actually determine that. What more can I do? 4 is actually up here. 4 is any of these cells. In fact, it's definitely this cell Because again, I've got a 3-6 and a 4-8 or 2-4-8. That is the 3-6 pair, meaning this is a 4 with a 2-8. And the only place for a 4, well, it's not this cell, so that's the 4. That's 2-8. Now, Sudoku plus knight move plus king's move says the 4s are up here. This 4 actually removes the 4 that's there. And again, I need to have a 3-6 and a 4 with a 2-8. Because this is now not a 4, this has to be the 3-6 pair. This is not a 4. This is a 4. This is an 8. That's not a 4. That's a 4. And this is a 2-8. And look at that. We have pencil marked all of the black Kropke dots in a shockingly small amount of time compared to my previous solve. 4, 4, so much better. Sorry, excuse me, that's 2-8. I don't actually know it's an 8, excuse me. Right, now we can color. So the 2s and 8s, I'm going to go with one of them is, I don't know, light color blue. The other one will be red. The 3-6s, I'm going to go with green and orange. Green, orange, green. That is different. You can see both of these with knight move. So that's green, that's orange. Then orange, green, orange, knight move. In fact, knight move again. Green, orange, orange, green, orange. So that's the 3-6s distinguished. Can I do the same with the 2 and 8s? That is the question. So notice the 2-8 is consistently next to orange. So it doesn't help me. If this 2-8, for example, you know, if this was a 2, this would definitely be 6. So I don't actually know. Can I do better? Of course, that 2-8 means that's a blue 2-8. I know that there's a blue 2-8 in one of these cells. No, the blue 2-8 being next to the 3-6 doesn't help. Oh yeah, of course, 2-8s, because of negative constraint, can never be next to 4s. So there is no red 2-8 in here. Red 2-8 is in one of these 3 cells. Am I going to do that? I mean, 2-8s are not here, not there. So there's another 2-8 somewhere in here. Fair enough. And this can't be a 2-8 because it sees blue and red. So that is this cannot be 2-8. Therefore, this is the other 2-8. Hopefully that made sense. Let me just 2-8s, 2-8s, not here. Can't be there because there's no black Kropke dot. So it was the 2 pairs of 2-8s are in here. This cell can't be either blue because of king's move or red because of chess knight move. So that gives me a 2-8 pair. This one is different from this blue because of knight. So that's red, that's blue. That gives me that's blue. Blue's now in one of these 3 cells. In fact, definitely not that one. So one of these 2 cells to be more precise. Interestingly, the blue and the red, once again, are grouped in here. This cell can't be either. It can't be blue because of king, can't be red because of chess. So that's another 2-8. That is different, so that's red. That's blue. That can't be blue anymore. That's blue. Red can't be any of these cells. So there is a red 2-8 in one of these. How is that helpful? Essentially no red next to the 4. We already knew that anyway. Red can't be here because of knight move. Can't be there. Has to be in one of these 2 cells. And therefore red can't be here, can't be there. Has to be in one of these 2 cells. It's not helping me. Red, you can see now, sees whichever, hang on, Is that true? No, nothing stops me from having red and red. So I don't have to see a red here. Never mind. Oh, yeah. When red is in such a position, because of king and knight move, essentially, if this is red, that can't be red, that can't be red. If this is red, that can't be red, that can't be red. And of course, this can't be red. So red is somewhat restricted here. And actually, because of this red, this can't be red either. So red is in one of these 4 cells. Doesn't help me here. Essentially, if this is red, that can't be red, can't be red, can't be red. It would be red and red. Yeah, that's fine. I don't see a problem with that. And there, hang on. Yeah, it breaks box 5. If this is red, Sudoku, king's move. So this would have to be red. And then I can't have a red in box 5. So that can't be red. This has to be green. And therefore this has to be red. And I've placed my reds now. That being red means that's not red. That is red. Which means that is blue because of knight move. That's so much smoother than what I've done last time. It's just like embarrassingly better. Anyway, nice to revisit. None of these are red. Knight move, Sudoku. So red is down here, meaning that's not red. That is red. That's another 2-8. So far, it's not helping me with my disambiguation in the sense that the 2-8 is always next to orange. The blue is always next to orange and the red is always next to green. Until I place one that is on a different set of colors, I'm really not going to make much progress here. Okay, so red is not here. Red can't be next to the 4. So red is in one of these 2 cells. Now that can't be red. Yeah, so that is red, which means that's not red. That is red. That's not red. That is red. I must have made a mistake because, like I said, they are consistently next to the same 3 6s. Unless I can place more of the 3 6s. So that's probably what I should do. Why did I color this one green? Blue. Right. So that's what I need to do. Place the remaining 3 6s in the hope that one of them is going to be next to kind of one of the 2 8s to allow me to make some progress. So where is orange in box 1? Well, it can't be any of these, plus the knight move. That's orange. Green can't be next to it because of the negative constraint. Can't be here because of knight move, so one of these is green. Green can't be there. Can't be here because of the knight move / Sudoku constraint. Can't be there, so green is down here. I could have made this way easier with Sudoku. Why am I doing this? And again, green is down there. Orange can only be up here, meaning that can't be, in fact, why am I, just Sudoku? So that's definitely orange, therefore that is definitely not green. That is definitely green, therefore that is not green. That is definitely green. That is not green. That is green. And we can just pencil mark a bunch of 3 6s, and I think that is all of the black crop key digits done. No, orange in this box is here. I think that is certainly all of them. Everyone should have, every box should have 5 pencil mark / digits, which they do. Now try this again. This 2-8 is next to both of them, as in green and orange, so it can't be the 2 because one of them is definitely a 3. So blue is definitely 8, red is definitely 2, therefore green is definitely 6, otherwise it will be adjacent to the 2, and orange is definitely 3. Wish I had them the other way around, but hey hum. Right, no 5s, 5. I mean, we've basically got it from here. Yeah, so it is a 1-star difficulty rated if you thought about it, which admitted I didn't. No 5s. No 5s, no 5, no 5, 5, 5. I think 5 is just proving to be the easier because of the 4 6s being placed. It's just so much easier. Can't be king move. 5, not here, not there. Oh yeah, 5. And one of these two cells, and then one of these two cells, not next to the 4. So 5, 5, 5s are done. Wow. No one, actually, 1 could be here. No 1. Yeah, that's not very useful. So 5 was easy because of the 4 6. 7s presumably are also going to be relatively easy. Where's 8 here? No 8, no 8, 8. Excuse me. So no 7s, 7. No 7s, 7. 7 is down here. Could be either. No 7, no 7, 7. 7. Can't be 7, can't be 7, is 7, is 7. Not 7, 7. 7. And I think that's 9 7s. Yep. Right, so I don't know why I'm so inconsistent. What am I missing in here that it looks different from this box? No, I should have 2 remaining digits, 1 and 9, which I do. And I just need to find the spot to place it. That's not a 9 next to an 8. So that's 1, that's 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, not king's move, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1. Yeah, goodness me, it is 1 star. I just didn't think about it well enough. That is a much better solve. I'm much happier with that. I'm glad I recorded it again. So I hope you guys don't mind the repeat, but I think if you make a mistake, you own up to it, you come back and fix it, and I'm really glad I did. Don't worry, I have actually recorded and solved another puzzle for tomorrow. So what you'll see for tomorrow morning is my hair will magically grow a little bit longer and then come back down again. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.